What it do, YouTube? It's your boy Mike from NYC. We back with another reaction. Today we're reacting to who is to blame for hookup culture. I guess I'll give my opinions as we get it. Let's just get into it. Let's not even do all the talking in the beginning. Let's just let her get her stuff off, and then I'ma just be catching and shooting.
Off the clock, I am doing another reaction.
Let her get her stuff off first, though.
Favorite podcast, the Whatever Pod. There is just so much incredible content that comes out of this one podcast, and literally it's just because the people that they bring on are so batshit crazy, and you just put a bunch of ridiculous people in a room and put a microphone in front of them. Content for days, guys. All right, so today we're gonna talk about one of my favorite subjects, hookup culture. Let's see what they have to say.
You guys said guys in Santa Barbara suck.
Who's Santa Barbara?
Why? Why'd you say that?
It's just hookup culture here. Like, no one's here to date. No one's here to be like, they're just genuine.
Whose fault is that?
Let's talk.
I think,
a lot of men.
Society as a whole.
A lot of men.
Man.
I think a lot of men.
Who controls access to men or women?
I think it's like a 2%. I think.
Yeah, I mean,
like
you need two people.
I think on average, more guys are invested in hookup culture than girls are.
Yeah.
More guys are what?
Invested in hookup culture.
I agree with that.
Invested in hookup culture. You put sex in front of a guy, 9 times out of 10 he's gonna be interested. Men are invested in sex. It's like a nice way of stating a fact. Invested. Society has created hookup culture. No.
I actually think more women have access to hookup culture than do men.
True.
They have more access, but I don't think they played into it as much as guys do.
Oh, shut up. I think there's a difference between playing into hookup culture and then actually engaging in hookup culture. But have you seen the way that women dress these days, the way that they present themselves? Like, promiscuity is the norm. If you are even a more modest person, it's like, oh wow, you're really covered up. You don't have to be in like a floor-length skirt and a turtleneck. But when you go to a beach and you're the only one that's not in a thong, that speaks volume. Whether you want to call it hookup culture or this idea that like literally sex rules our entire society, you are putting yourself out there literally as a sexual object. The way that women present themselves these days, they're literally a way of objectifying yourself, and then you get angry at men for looking at you in a sexual manner. I do think that there's a...
I disagree with her on this one. I mean, it is kind of a situation of the chicken or the egg. The way girls move nowadays is a product of what men reward, generally speaking, in terms of society and sexual marketplace, just like generalities and stuff like that. I think that men reward promiscuous behavior more so than they ever have done before. They like a hoe, they like a, you know, somebody that's experienced, that's been around a block a few times, more so now than they have ever have in the past. If you go back to the 50s and 60s, I would say more so now, before social media, before crack, a girl that has been around the block, has been around with a lot of different people, that shows off her skin, you know, is very sexually open, is not something that was rewarded at a high level. It is not rewarded the way it is now, you know what I'm saying? So I think that is men. Like, I think that it's men. Like, if men didn't like that, I don't think girls would do it. Like, if men were just like repulsed by it, I don't think that it would be a situation that takes place often. I'm trying to think why. Okay, so let's get deeper then. Why do men, or why is it rewarded more so by men now than before? I think it has a lot to do with porn and like social media. I think it's just men are a lot more desperate. Also, with social media, with television, I think it's a lot, the market is a lot harder, right? So let's just say like in the 50s and 60s, right? The area that I'm in, that's really my marketplace. So if I'm the best looking dude within like a 5-block radius, like I'm that dude pretty much. But being the best looking dude in a 5-block radius probably means nothing now, or significantly less. So I think people are doing more to compete with the marketplace. Men are, you know, more infatuated with like having lots of money or, you know, whatever, and women are more infatuated with, you know, being the best looking, trying to look better than everybody else. So I think social media and access is, if that's the right way to say it, to so many more options, it just, the market reacts a lot differently to those options. I mean, who's to blame? If you're gonna say who's to blame, if I had to give my 2 cents about who I think is to blame, I don't think you can blame one gender. I think I would say social media. Porn, internet. I would say the internet. Probably just the internet in general. I would say the internet. Girls that are like lesser value are using sex to try to like gain leverage. It's like a guy who's maybe not as good looking or not tall or not in good shape, but he'll throw money at a girl. He'll throw a whole bunch of attention at a girl, right? To try to make up for that value. And so, you know, what that now does to the market, it says, okay, well, this guy did this, so I'm expecting this from this guy that I want, which kind of throws off the market, right? So if a girl that's maybe, let's say, a 5 or 6 on the market, 5 or 6, right? You know, she's using sex and like the sex appeal to get her indoors with men that are really looking at the 9s and 10s, but the 9s and 10s aren't necessarily moving like that. So, okay, she's like, I don't really have the looks or, you know, the youth or the beauty, but maybe I can, you know, swindle my way in there with some sex appeal. And I think that's what thrown off the market. So I guess the internet.
Between playing into it and then engaging with it. But still, anyway, those are my 2 cents. We'll see what she says.
The top 20% of men, I would say, they have access to hookup culture, but average dudes, they can't like very easily hook up. That's quite difficult for men to get laid.
I know what you mean.
Like an average dude, whereas like an average chick, she could just download Tinder, boom, 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 super easy, get laid.
Yeah. I mean, have you guys seen the stats between like men and women on Tinder? Of guys literally swipe basically
anything
on everybody. I remember talking to some friends of mine who were like conventionally attractive dudes, great guys, and even them would just be like, yeah, I would just swipe because it's really hard to get a match on any of these apps as a guy because women are much more particular, and so you see the discrepancy with, you know, how many matches a woman gets versus a man, even if he is more like traditionally attractive, whatever. It's just like always skewed towards women.
But you see where the conversation is circling. It's circling back to social media or the internet. I mean, Tinder is basically social media. That's what it's circling back to. You get what I'm saying? Like, if we was in the 50s, like, a girl that was a dime, like, she's not meeting up with nobody in Jersey. You get what I'm saying? Like, if I was in that 5-block radius and I'm the best looking dude within the 5-10 blocks and she's the best looking girl, she's like, all right, cool. I mean, I'm cool with him. But now she's like, hold on, my man's from Australia? The fact that I'm even seeing people from Australia is crazy. That's wacky. Like, think about that. You're seeing people on your phone that are on the other side of the world. Like, that's throwing off everything. That's throwing everything out of whack. Everything.
Power in this situation. There is a physical difference between men and women, and physically men can hold more power over women, and usually that is not a good thing, and we're talking about assault and that sort of thing. But when it comes to consensual interactions between men and women these days control how that plays out. Can turn it off and can turn it on like really fast.
Guys love hookup culture, I feel like. They love saying that they have hoes. They love, like, you know, IB guys are dirty. Like,
well, it comes down to, so men and women's sexual strategy is different. And it comes down to evolutionary reasons. Like men, evolutionary, we just want to spread the seed.
Yes. This is something that my mom taught me at a very young age, and I thought it was so weird. I was like, Mom, why are you telling me this? And I think he's going to go where what she used to say. Think of like primal cavemen era. Their entire goal was to repopulate the earth or populate the earth. Like he's saying, a dude can impregnate as many women as he wants. He's just sowing the seeds. With women, we have a certain amount of eggs. We can only be pregnant
but so many.
One time takes us 9 months plus, you know, postpartum. So obviously we're going to be a bit more particular because biologically we can't just go popping them out every single month, every single day like a dude can. We operate in different ways. And I think that's so fascinating. And that was the thing that stuck out to me the most when my mom told me that, because it literally clicks. Because you can speculate about society and culture and, okay, why are these people doing this? You know, society is so messed up, so sexualized. Just think about how we are literally biologically wired, and it makes sense. That's why taking biological anthropology did more good for me than any sociology class I took, any psychology class I took. That gave me the insights into why men and women act the way they do.
She's tapped in.
Primal level. Anyway.
She's tapped in.
3 women a day. But a woman, like, if you get pregnant, that's 9 months time.
Yeah.
Obviously, I realize
Diane was right,
most
per usual.
people, when they're engaging in sex, it's not for procreation necessarily, but that's still ingrained in us. It's hardwired in our evolution, in our biology. So for men, it's just spread the seed. And then for women, it's let me lock down the best man I can get. Women control access to sex. So, like, I could ask, like, how long has a guy ever made you wait for sex?
I don't think so. No.
Laughing is crazy. Nah, laughing is whack. Laughing is crazy. I ain't gonna lie. Laughing is crazy.
They're not hanging out at church, I can tell you that much.
Have you guys ever made a guy wait for sex?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you guys control access to sex.
I think men need to be more clear on what they want.
Men need to be what?
More clear on what they want. Some guys, they just want to hook up, but then they treat a girl like they want more.
I was gonna say the same thing. Like, men need to act accordingly.
Yeah. I once had a guy take me on dates. I met his coworkers. He treated me like he wanted to be with me, and then when he said he didn't want anything more than just hooking up.
There's two things there. One, yes,
Nobody's not watching.
There's definitely guys that they're gonna play like they want something serious to get laid. Because I mean, the thing is, though, is most men can't be honest about their true intentions
To get what they want.
Then you wouldn't want to with them.
I mean, I think, like, the whole point, like, you should be honest. Like,
Well, the whole point is, like, can we have some integrity? It's like, well, if I told you the truth, then I wouldn't get what I want. Okay, can you have some type of integrity, or, like, you just out for self? Everybody out for self? Is that a valid excuse? I mean, I'm not excusing, but that's just the reason. But it's like, hey, can we have some integrity here, please? What's up?
like,
I agree with
there's
that.
no I can. Like,
I think everybody needs to be more honest. There are players that are male out there. That's a very common, normal thing. But as a woman, you also need to be very honest about what you're looking for and what you expect. If you play into a guy's games, if you're wishy-washy, if you give it all up on the first date, that's setting an expectation. If you're also wishy-washy, like on those apps, you're like, oh, I don't really know what I want, I'm open to anything, then don't get pissed off when the guy just wants to hook up with you because you were not clear. If you say, I do not want to just hook up, I am looking for a serious relationship, I want a date, if you are that forthright and that honest about the things that are important to you, about your values, that's gonna scare off a wishy-washy guy. The only reason you have to deal with people like this is because you don't stand up for yourself and you are not honest. It goes both ways because you cannot expect that every single guy you interact with, I'm talking to women right now, you cannot expect that every single guy you interact with is gonna be like this perfect, incredible Ken doll, wonderful man who doesn't want to screw you over, that kind of thing. You just have to expect that there will be bad apples. So you have to do your due diligence and make sure that you are setting the right expectations, holding yourself to a high standard, holding him to a high standard, your potential partner. And the same goes for men. It goes both ways.
I feel like you don't have to be honest, like, with your words, just be honest with your actions. Like, don't be, like, taking girls out on dates, like, if you don't want to date her. Like, if you just want to hook up with her,
Just
like,
do that.
sometimes, like, maybe it's, like, a mutual
No,
thing.
literally use your words. The reason why you're all so confused is because you're not speaking about it.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
I know plenty of people that are just in hookup relationships, and yet they go to parties together, they hang out, they go get dinner. Are they actually wanting to date? No. I had one situation relatively recently where the guy did not want anything to do with this girl in like a dating situation. She was hoping that he did, but never brought it up, never talked about it. And then suddenly he moved on to somebody else and she was heartbroken. It's like, well, you allowed that to happen. You didn't talk about it. So no, use your words. We are not kindergartners. We are adults.
If you don't want to date her, but you're taking her on dates, like, that's being dishonest.
Yeah. That's what pisses me off the most.
Dishonest is crazy. That's dishonesty. Come on now. We did a lot. I was with you, but that's OD. Okay, so a reason that I may just want to hook, let's just say somebody, right? Not me personally, right? But just somebody out in the world, like out there, you know what I'm saying? Far, far away, right? We just want to do that with somebody and then go out to eat. It's just like, I know that you and I probably won't be compatible. You and I probably won't, like, there's certain things about you or that certain values you have or possess that I know you and I aren't gonna be good together. But this thing that we have is good. Let's hold on to this thing until something better comes along for each of us. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, right? That's like a, it's like a partnership, right? If I'm working at a job and a better employee comes along for the job, you know, hey, let me go. If I get a better job opportunity that fits my life better, that I get paid more, that I like doing more, that I like my coworkers more, I like the environment, I'm taking that job opportunity. So, you know, it gets difficult when it's something like a relationship or relationship type things, you know, and treating it very transactionally. But if that's what you signed up for, you gotta know what you signed up for. You gotta be able to turn shit on and off in your brain. It's kind of hard, but yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You know, I think that you can like somebody physically and like things about them and know that, hey, we're not gonna work out. And if we do certain acts, hey, let's go grab a bite. Let's go grab a bite to eat. You know what I'm saying? Like if I hoop with my mans, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and we got that thing in common, like, yo, you want to grab some Chipotle real quick? You know what I'm saying? My gym bro, whatever. Yo, I need protein. Yo, he's about to go eat. Let's hit Chipotle. Let's have a meal. It ain't nothing crazy. It ain't nothing too crazy. It ain't like, oh, like this is going to be my best friend. I may never see him outside of gym and Chipotle or whatever eats we get. Right? There's nothing dishonest about that. Like, yo, we went to Chipotle and you didn't call me the next day. Like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? We worked out. It was a good workout. Chipotle was nice. I'm going home, back to the crib. Right? We did our deed. Right? I took you out to eat. We chopped it up. It was a nice environment. I'm on. I'm out. Like, what are we talking about? I'm dishonest. What are you saying?
Because I feel like a lot of times there's like a guy will take a girl out, you know, wanting something, and she won't, like, let's say it's just for hookup, but she's just friend zoning him, and she's just, you know, kind of using him to either get into clubs or get food or have him buy you clothes or stuff like that. I think that,
Or the girl is straight up just too nervous to do anything about it. If a man is taking you on dates, is showing that he's interested, and you're just along for the ride and you don't do anything to either end the situation or lean in and actually date him, but you're just kind of like, oh my god, I'm there. Again, use your words, people. You do not have to be in these situations if you do not want to be.
I both got buckets of chicken. You want to do it?
Okay. It's really quite simple. Don't lead people on. Don't play games. Actually be honest. Being honest is the best thing you can do on that first date. Lay out all of your expectations. Get it out of the way. You don't want to spend months of your time and your energy playing house with somebody, getting to know somebody, and then realizing, oh wow, we really didn't want the same things. You could save yourself that heartache.
There's some girl I saw on Hinge, and she, in her bio, she said something about, I want someone to take me out to dinner, and she was like, I matched with her to actually invite her on the show. And so I was kind of doing the finesse too, I guess, but she was like really pushing, oh, I'll come on the show, but first can you take me for dinner? Really pushing for dinner. I'm like, they're definitely, I think on the guy's side, you're going to encounter women that they are not genuinely themselves pursuing something serious. If they even meet up with you. Maybe they just want a free dinner. Some chicks will they're bored.
They're broke, they're hungry.
I guess I'll go out on a date with this dude. And then there's also a lot of women on Hinge or on dating apps that they're like they have no intention of even meeting up with the guy ever. They just want some validation. They're promoting their Instagram.
Because those dating apps are literally games. Now, obviously, I've said it before. Dennis Prager gave me and some other young people advice at one point when I was still living in LA, and I went on a show, and he was like, you know, especially if you live in a blue area, dating apps can be very beneficial because you can literally weed through people who hate you and disagree with you. If you are upfront about your values, upfront about your religious beliefs, that sort of thing, those people will just not even touch you with a 10-foot pole, hopefully. Will not start anything, start a conversation, hold a conversation. So I get the value. But for the most part, those apps, like you said, they're for clicks and getting a dopamine rush of like, oh my god, look how many guys like me. Like, it's not real. It's nothing tangible. It's not tangible like my silver coins from Bully and Max. I think we all know that the slash Cooper, and you will actually have something that is tangible, unlike the dating lives of all of these women, apparently.
There's definitely some.
That last one's like kind of me.
Hold on.
Not intentionally, but not like intentionally.
You have your Cash App in your dating profile?
No. I just like, I've never met up with anyone on Tinder or Hinge. Like the whole time
how long have you?
Me neither.
How long have you had dating?
Okay.
It's not just you. It's not just you.
It's been like a month or two.
The first ever dating app you had was 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait,
That's not as bad as I was expecting.
Reminder, just who's been on a dating app? Okay. Who's been on a date, met someone in person from a dating app? Okay.
I did too.
Mostly on there, like everyone just wants to hook up. Anyway, so like that's not what I want.
Then why be on the app? You can easily read the room. There's a reason why many women, including myself, do not use those anymore. If you know that that is what is on those apps and you don't like that and you have not found a way to meet interesting people or at least try to weed through it, then why are you just still sitting on there? Then it's for affirmation. Or because you're actually feeding into the hookup culture aspect of it.
You dislike hookup culture?
Yeah,
I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, no, I don't like.
Have you ever hooked up with anyone?
Yes. You know how I feel about as soon as somebody says to a definitive yes or no question, the benefit of the doubt goes out the window. You don't need to hear no more. Whatever you are assuming is probably right. Did you fuck him? She said but if I punch in her face, I'm wrong. I'm wildin'. Nah, I'm just kidding.
Like
just kidding. Just kidding.
Just in person, from an app, whatever it may be.
Like fully hooking up, I guess one person in, like my body count is 2. So I've hooked up with one person, and then the other person was my long-term boyfriend. So I don't hook up.
Okay, that's fair.
That's impressive. I remember seeing a clip. I'm not sure whether it was from Whatever Pod or Fresh and Fit, but there was a girl who I think was a little younger than me and had a body count of like 25 or 30. So that's actually impressive that that girl's body count is only 2, and that she's talking about hookup culture. That gives me a lot more respect for the situation, because if it was going to be somebody who, you know, at age 19 had already hooked up with like 10 people, like, okay, you know, obviously you are feeding into it. I think this is a cool conversation though, and I think that the way this was kind of broken open and they did find some common ground is indicative to the fact that both men and women are upset about this. Our current hookup culture, the way that men and women operate within dating and relationships, it's not normal and it's not healthy. Both genders are upset at each other. Both of them do not believe that the other is honest. They're playing games constantly and pointing fingers. None of this is healthy. The truth is, whether it is a man or a woman, both people have the potential to be awful and to screw you over. That is true. So obviously you do need to have your guard up somewhat slightly, but just be honest. That is the best way to weed out people who do not value the same things as you or not looking for the same things as you. It literally saves so much time and energy. And if we can all just get to the realization that hooking up with somebody on the first date, or just for the sake of it, it's not going to fulfill you at all. But expecting that that is going to give you the same kind of fulfillment as being in a relationship or finding a partner or being single and working on yourself, it's a straight up lie, especially for women. Because
get to that money, you heard? Get to that money. Nah, really, realistically, you know what I'm saying? Find God. Keep God in your life. You know what I'm saying? Make God the center of your life. And, you know, just learn yourself, obviously, you know. That's it. But honestly, like, I can't really talk because, like, when you've never been in a relationship, nobody can tell you that a relationship is not it. Like, before, I was like, bruh, I don't care what you're talking about. I don't care what happened with you. I'm different. Like, as soon as, you can't even talk to me for it. Like, as soon as, it's over. It's wraps. Like, it's over. So I get it. I'm not mad. You know what I'm saying? But, you know.
Of what he talked about, with our primal biological instincts. Women are built to literally protect their eggs, to protect their womb, to raise children, which you can only do over a 9-month period. You can't be doing it a lot at once like men can do. You can't just sow the seeds. We literally operate differently. And it's okay to assert that the two sexes are different. I know that's controversial in 2023, but they are different. And they are supposed to be compatible. They are supposed to support each other and not be pointing fingers and screaming that the other is the worst. That's what I got from this. Before you...
Alright, definitely like, comment, share. If you got all the way to the end, leave a like. You know what I'm saying? I understand, like, I ain't gonna lie. I used to be like, nah, if niggas like the video, they'll just like the video. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I'm a YouTube consumer, so I could really love a video. But if the person don't ask me to leave a like, I might forget to leave a like, or I may not think about leaving a like. So if you made it all the way to the end, leave a like. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate y'all. I'm out of here.